flickering. It's flickering. Yeah. Okay. Okay, let us begin at least while this is all happening, because I don't have a switch right on me. And then we can begin with Vandeham. So please, you all together say, Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uttapada Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sapadam Magunatam Vitantam Sajiyam Sadvaitam Sadvarutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagan Lavita Shri Vishakam Vitanscha Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Anmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Mahavaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurataje Namaha Shri Krishna, Vanchakalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadhara Srivas Adi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All right, dear devotees, so we're here happily together, and it says we're here together on Facebook also, and it seems to be. All right, make sure the sound is down. All right, so dear devotees, today is a new day, or it's an old day. It depends on where you are. Yes, we know. And so let us start our day where the day has started first. Well, that would be Australia, we have to say, but it looks like our Rupanuga Prabhu is driving, so let's not distract him from his driving. We know to drive is first priority, so let us take care. Driving is a responsible duty. We know this from our own life experience. All right, so on eastern side, yes, Shama Priya, actually to each of you, you're joining one by one as we are chatting, and to Madhava Prabhu on Facebook, others who may be there on Facebook too, and to the sisters and the devotee sisters in Salt Lake, Sister Shara Shiromani and Harini Devi Dasi, and to Aparajita there in Thailand, Radha Sundari in India, Gangalila in USA, Dana K is for Krishna, must be, I'm sure. In Florida, USA, Shamapriya in UA. And who miss Seva Rupa Devi Nasi? We cannot miss you. Seva Rupa in South Africa. Sri Govinda Farm, Lilamoy Prabhu and Priya Sundari Devi Rasi in Thailand. So as you do have your cameras on in Thailand, and you are all prepared because you know that the day starts there early, then to each of you, we can ask each of you to say something on Hari Katha, Krishna consciousness. And we've been making preparation for our journey of life, Camino del Vita, something like that. Maybe I don't have the flyer with me also, which we're doing another department of Journey of Life, going to Monta Barra, here, a place of Gurudev, where Gurudev was before Villa Govinda Ashram, his second visit. But we're also going to go by walking, most of us, and try to be in the spirit of the pilgrimages in India. But we had a Ishta Goshti, or whatever may be the proper word, but Ishta Goshti is topics about Krishna, but this was topics about the pilgrimage in remembrance of the Vaishnavas. And we were going through the points in preparation because it's coming up very soon. And one of them was the briefing We mentioned maybe the other day about the briefing and the debriefing. So the briefing, our preparation is going to be one of the things that all the way, only topic is Hari Katha, just like being in a temple. No talks about football, about anything else, only about Hari Katha. So today, we start with the Brazilians not talking about football. They have no desire to talk about football, I know, but Brazil is famous for such a sport. So some Hari Katha from Sri Govinda Farm. Kindly.
So, Dhanavad Pranams to all of you. Okay. So the last few days we were reading and listening from KrishnaVilla Prabhu in our morning readings here. Everything is on Instagram. Everybody can follow the live streams, our live streams here. And it's very beautiful. Srila Govinda Maharaj was speaking about was telling about the journey, since you mentioned the journey that we're going to have in April now in Italy. Srila Govinda Maharaj, Srila Gurudev was telling about the journey, our journey, the journey of our life. And sometimes it's very hard. We have a lot of difficulties, but everything comes by our grace. And we have to tolerate the speed, because the speed, we cannot control the speed. Sometimes our journey are really slowly, and sometimes we want to control everything around us, make the things easy. The solution, we want the solution very easy and quickly according to our plans. But you have to remember, nothing is according to our plans. Everything is by the grace of the Lord. The Vaishnavas, Gurudev, will guide us to this journey to the infinite. And this journey, the journey is beautiful. The journey is always beautiful, and we have to enjoy the process. And since I mentioned that, maybe you could say something about this, Gurudev, that sometimes we're having some struggles in our life and everything, and we want to really solve the things quickly. How can we tolerate this? How can we, I don't know, trying to get the things in the easier way for us? Maybe you can get some
Oh,
tips.
okay, so to begin with, I just came. Look, here is
Aha!
maybe here is an advertisement for Govinda Farm. And on my screen, it's back to front. Maybe on your screen, it's the right way around. Anyway, Govinda_farm_ashram on Instagram. And it looks like they've got the camera in exactly the same place every day. Or did you record them all on the same day? This is day by day talks. So now we have somewhere else to go. Oh, there's Keshavananda. My thumb touched it by accident. Keshavananda Prabhu. Okay, but he's not live, so there's no point in waving there. Well, when you were saying about the journey of life and the difficulties, and then Srila Gurudev saying, tolerate, hold, tolerate the speed, etc. Yesterday, we were we watching a video, hearing an, oh no, we were hearing an audio, so we were hearing a recording. And of Srila Gurudev. And Srila Gurudev, he was talking about the journey of life beyond the body, beyond this life, and leaving our body, going onwards, etc. And this fitted also completely in with our reading of, well, the thing is, we read Golden Volcano later. Anyway, it fitted in completely with what Srila Guru Maharaj was saying, and probably it was Golden Volcano that we were reading the excerpt from, where the only solution to all the reactions of our lives, only solution to this world of birth and death is devotional service. Only solution. You can think this yoga, that yoga, this breathing exercise, this diet, that diet, whatever it may be, become a president, to become a CEO of a company, trying to get relief, to get happiness in this world. But we are strictly following our karma. Our karma, rather, will strictly follow us as life goes on. And so we are caught up within the net, the strong bondage of karma. So the only way to get out of the troubles of this world is bhakti yoga. And that we can call whatever name we like, because yoga is very misused. And then, as we we have pointed out before some different times, please don't do it. But I have looked up bhakti yoga on the web just to see what results you get. And really, the results are absolutely not what is bhakti yoga as given by Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. So, giving it the name bhakti yoga can be misleading to some degree. People go on Google and look up what is bhakti yoga. Maybe Google got better, I don't know. But when we looked it up one time just to see, well, what do people get? Then it was very wrong. So anyhow, Srila Guru Maharaj was saying that the only way to get out of this birth and death, to get the real solution, the only way is bhakti yoga. Because devotional service, to use our energy for the Lord, that is making our consciousness, our activities, our speech, everything, Krishna-centered. And that's the grace of Mahaprabhu also. It could be Narayan-centered, which is perfect. It could be Ramachandra-centered, which is perfect. But Mahaprabhu has come with the perfectest of the perfect, which is to be Krishna-centered. Anyhow, Srila Guru Maharaj was talking in this class, and he was talking about our journey, the journey of life, this birth and death, and what happens after we pass away. And we, the devotees, we've heard Gurudev talk on these subjects on different occasions. And at first I thought it was his, it was the talk he gave, which is transcribed and is in the book Revealed Truth. But it wasn't that same time. Just in the same way that Srila Gurudev talked about humility, tolerance, giving honor to others. And we may be listening to a class and, oh, this class, it's in the book. But then we find, oh no, he's giving a different angle of vision, a different angle of looking at that, in that case, the jewel of the principles of humility, tolerance, and giving honor to others. And in this case, it was giving an example of another way of seeing this birth and death and what happens. And again, the only solution is devotional service, to be connected. Not only I'm connected now, I signed on the line, I've paid my fees, I'm a member of the club, I'm going home. But yes, it may be so, going home, but we won't be going home until we've become sincere. So this sincerity is an important part. And the devotees, they were like glued to listening to Srila and Gurudev talking about and the planchet. And some non-English speakers don't know what is planchet, but planchet means ghost, basically. Somebody who's alive but not in a body. That's what happens when you die. You leave your body, you don't have a body yet. And Gurudev said, and for some, there may be some relief period before getting their next body. But still, the next body is going to come. That wave will come. So when we come to devotional service, we will also get challenges. Just as the people who do business in this world, the people who are, they're not doing business, but they're employed in this world. Some they are farmers, sometimes some are self-employed. whatever you do in this world, you're going to get challenges, you're going to get difficulties. But if you've got a mortgage and you've got the payment on the car and you've got, the wife and children, or the husband and the children, their education, and these days, basically, in most householders, we hear the wife has to work if you want to actually have a home, as normal people had 50 years ago. The wife didn't necessarily work. The husband will work, wife is a housewife. So all the challenges in the material world is a big headache. And so sometimes any thinking person must be, oh my goodness, I don't want to go to work today, or this happened, that happened, this trouble, that trouble, this court case, that court case. Those people who are running businesses, they're always being sued by different people. In Europe, they call it the American disease, suing for everything. And by the way, in Europe, they call going on strike the English disease. The strikes, going on strike. So, everywhere's got some expression about other countries and other places. But then, you've got all that, all that money saved up, and you think you're going to, then suddenly you face all the costs of the lawyers. And if you don't get an expensive lawyer, then you've got to go and spend a little time in jail, and then so many difficulties in the material world. So, if we're on the path of bhakti yoga, we get troubles also. And some of the troubles may be looking like exactly the same troubles that the materialists get, but they're for a different purpose. And this is the all-important thing. We must remember our purpose, and we must be reminded of our purpose. And actually, all of us are doing this on a regular basis by keeping in touch with the devotees, by reading, by having a morning program, however, short or long or changed, not exactly the same as happens in Navadip or in Villa Govinda or in the London ashram like that. It may not be exactly the same, but the principle is the same. To get nourishment from the moment of waking up, to get nourishment in the line of devotional service. And then our job, our home, our children, our parents, our grandparents, those who we have responsibility for, then we're able to engage in those responsible activities of this world, but in Krishna consciousness, conscious of Krishna. So not to lose the plot. The material world is very strong. Yes, Ishwaranand Prabhu, welcome. The material world is very strong. The Maya is very strong. And if we want to cheat ourselves, there is so much opportunity to be cheated. Very beautiful world of cheating outside, taking our energy for not only no gain, but for reaction. And the material things we do, then karma is following us like our shadow. Exactly what we do, we get the result in that shadow of karma. This description is given in some places. So this is where the little jnana, little knowledge comes in to help us when we're down, feeling down. We get a little knowledge that, uh-oh, I'm in the middle of birth and death. Uh-oh, death can come at any time. So let's go in the right direction and not go down to the pub. Guinness is good for you. We know it. In England, at least, they used to give Guinness to help patients recover because it's full of nutrients. That's why it's good for you. But if we take shelter in the lower things, unfortunately, we will find it's not a shelter, and it is only giving us more difficulty for our proper life. And there is one sannyasi who many, many years ago, he said something which, sometimes it's just very simple things that people say. We hear all kinds of things, but he said that And this is about a devotee who's good devotee, but going a little bit in the wrong way. And that's sannyasi said, that those who go in the wrong direction, then unfortunately they have to come back up. It's easy to slip down, but then it's more difficult to come back up to rejoin the correct path. Like, oh, here's a downhill part instead of an uphill part. Let's go down this hill. But then we have to go up that hill again to get back on the path. So, little things like that from the devotees, they sometimes stick in our mind, which also help us in the times when we may think, oh, the material world's not that bad. Let's go and enjoy in the material world. Well, unfortunately, that's the downhill, the easy path going downhill. But then we have to come back uphill again. So a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of gyan, a little bit of understanding, it does come to our aid sometimes. Our mind can be our best friend, and it can be our worst enemy. Anyway, Lilamoy Prabhu is only giving a theoretical question, because it's not applying to him. He's in the company of good devotees. He's God's service. And if he hasn't got service, he just asks somebody, because he's in a place where there are infinite numbers of things to do. Reminds me of Navadip. In the sense of in Navadip, there was never any shortage of service, because the place was so big and there were so many things going on, so many outside activities as well, in the sense of preaching and collection and accompanying the devotees who were able to do those things. And what to speak of the in the temple programs. And so Govinda Farm, it's a fortunate place in the sense it is a big place, and to keep it and the programs and the association, all these activities going on, then there's always plenty to do. But actually, as there is plenty to do in Maya, the whole world is running, motivated by self-interest instead of Krishna interest. But in the same way that we see that unlimited ways to serve ourselves and extended selfishness, then we must understand there is that door which we can go through, which we can open, and we can see at least on the other side that, oh, there are unlimited ways to serve the Lord, and that everything will be will be used in service to the Lord. And just to see the world in the Krishna conscious, we're conscious of Krishna, is also a very beautiful thing. Here it's spring, more or less. They say it should not be spring, or now maybe should be spring. But when spring came early, there wasn't really a solid winter in a consistent way. And Chinmoy Dev here then said, oh, today I saw a different bird. I saw this bird. And he described it. And then Munindra said, yes. And we were reading a few months ago, maybe, that the qualities of Krishna, he's got a lot of qualities. We can read those. But anyhow, that Krishna expresses his artistic expression manifests in birds. Somewhere we had read that, and not exactly sure where, but we know it's within Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, okay, Chaitanya Bhagavat, and Brihata Bhagavatamritam. It's within this circle of books. And there we are happy to receive what comes to us happily through these sources. But Krishna manifests his artistic prowess through birds. And there are so many wonderful birds. Our last Back to Basics was on Sunday. We just come from the program a public program, very good public program at the top of a hill, little village. And there the peacock, and just the joy of seeing a peacock and seeing all those colors. And then there are so many birds. Not only they looking beautiful, they dance. They do many things. As you know, I spent time in different countries, and I've seen really amazing red and yellow birds dancing and turning upside down and doing all kinds of things. Amazing. And also Krishna's must be expressing some of his sense of humor in these birds and some of the strange things that they do. And the singing of the birds, the sound of the birds. And generally, by the way, birds seem to sing one tune per bird. Now, if it's the Maha Mantra, we can think, oh, this is very good, only chanting the Maha Mantra. So in Krishna's, in Goloka Vrindavan, I expect they've got some special bird mantra, which is for Krishna's joy. But the birds there, they speak. Krishna's parrot, Radharani's parrot. They go and they do reconnaissance for Krishna, reconnaissance for Radharani. So, you know, we hear one tune. Oh, this bird, we hear that tune is that bird. Okay, we identify it. Another tune for another bird. But in Goloka Vrindavan, they're all talking to each other. So from that theoretical question of Lilamoy Prabhu, then we can consider that we are in this journey of life. And yes, to hold on for the speed, but to hold on just in a sober way, to know we're doing the right thing. So we don't have to keep sort of consciously holding on and looking to Maya. We're cautious. No doubt we're not going to go as Sevarupa Devirasi learned from Chinmoy Devu last night, that the most dangerous animal in the world, okay, is the human being. Really, the most dangerous animal is the human being. But then, so saith Chinmoy Dev, who said, oh, no, I read it on the internet. Okay, read it on the internet. This is the second most dangerous animal, is the hippopotamus, which really, you know, out of all the animals in the world, and the snakes and deadly spiders and jackals and all these other things, then, you know, how many times do we meet a hippopotamus as we're walking along the road? But we've seen a few poisonous snakes, which in Thailand, Paramanandu, we saw one say, he said, oh, this is the most deadly snake. Oh, okay. I respect the snake. Hare Krishna. And right in Navadip, in the temple, not in the temple, just opposite and to the right, then one worker was coming to the cowshed, then for our Goshala, then he died within half an hour of being bitten by a snake. But I don't know many people who died by being bitten by a hippopotamus. Oh, but why the hippopotamus? Lost the plot on that one because it was so interesting Hari Katha to learn that a hippopotamus is the second most dangerous animal after a human. But there's danger everywhere in the world. But if we're going in the right direction, we don't have to worry about anything. All right. So back to Krishna consciousness. Krishna made hippopotamuses, whatever the plural is of a hippopotamus. But he made them. And personally, I've seen many hippopotamuses in my earlier life. And even in devotional life. In San Diego Zoo, we saw some famous hippopotamus. He was very old, and everybody seemed to like him. Anyway, back to Krishna, who made the hippopotamus and made the birds and made the singing and made everything. So Priya Sundari, she knows she's being asked to say something about Krishna consciousness.
Dhanyavad, Gurudeva. Dhanyavad, all devotees. Uh, well, I got lost because I was gonna say something and then it was already answered. But I was gonna say that we are being here we are reading the Divine Servitor in the morning, and before that we were reading the Dignity of the Divine Servitor, and in parallel I'm reading listening to Revealed Truth, and in all of everything there's always seva. So everywhere there is like the importance of seva. And I was listening to your Instagram video because you also have do a live, and you said utilization and not renunciation is our main goal. And I have this question, which is how can, because it's all about service and utilizing everything that we have for Krishna. But I don't know sometimes what can I offer, what, because I will do things and I will try to make them for seva, but I don't think they're always for seva. I think they are many times just for my own selfish interest. And I want to I want to make this shift, but it's like I came to Krishna consciousness and I have already so much package, like some not package, baggage, like so much time doing things not Krishna consciousness and doing things only for my own self-interest, that I have to shift everything. Like I have to adjust all of what I was doing, all the habits, even work. So I work to sustain myself. I work just, everything I have to change. I want to do this shift, but there is I don't know how, if there is a practical thing that has to change, or if it's really the mood inside that has to change. And it's about just remembering of Krishna all the time when I'm working on things that are not Krishna consciousness, but they are still work and they have to be done. And then I utilize everything that comes from it to Krishna consciousness as much as I can. But I feel like there is so much distance from what is the goal of really utilizing everything for Krishna consciousness and where I am at, that there is a really, it's so far. And I don't know if you can say something. Yeah.
So yes, the answer in my humble opinion, but hearing Gurudev, seeing his way of dealing with the devotees, Srila Guru Maharaj's means the interaction with the devotees, what they expect of the devotees. And that is that the devotees, they won't be a burden on anyone. So as recorded in Sri Guru and his grace, the devotees come with their own bed and bedding when they come to the ashram. They come with the ingredients. They come not to take, but they're coming to give. So Srila Gurudev is expecting devotees will be self-sufficient and responsible, and that not the opposite. I mean, if you look at the opposite, then Gurudev is not happy if someone is just using the temple or just expecting that they're going to get food and lodging and everything else without any particular exertion. Okay, it's different for a brahmachari, it's different for somebody who's actually come to give their energy, in which case they give more energy than they take. And it's not a business matter. That's not a business matter. It's normal living matter that everybody must do something. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, everyone must do something, otherwise how can they even eat? But in this world, at the moment, in some countries, there is this tendency that if they can get money off the government, then can not do something. But that also, we see it encourages laziness, it encourages bad habits because they're getting money and then that extra money getting used on wrong things. So we must be very careful and try to be responsible citizens. So when we are doing what Gurudev, Guru Maharaj expects of us, that we will be self-sufficient, that we look after our own matter. And more than that, that we can use our energy for the assistance, for the help of the Vaishnavas. It's the Vaishnava connection which is always given stress. Vaishnava, Guru, this is the way to come to Gauranga, to Radha, and to Krishna. So if somebody is a farmer, they are giving full attention to everything that's taking place around them. Somebody is a business person, they're giving full attention to the business. Otherwise, somebody else is going to come and take that business. They must be very aware. If somebody is a driver, they're giving full attention to driving. Otherwise, crashing into other cars and everything. But we're doing everything in Krishna consciousness. So in conscious, and easy to say Krishna consciousness, but really with the Maha Mantra rolling in the background, it may not be in the foreground, maybe, but in the background, and knowing that what we are doing, the result also that's coming, it's coming by the grace of Krishna, and our capacity to do something, the opportunity that's come to us to do something, then this is all coming by the grace of the Lord. And some of you may have been job hunting in the past. You suddenly find you don't have a job, and then you go to interviews for this job, for that job, and literally praying, maybe, oh, please, Lord, let me get this job. Otherwise, how can I pay the rent? How can I do this? How can I do that? So when we do have an employment where we are able to get funds in this world, where we're able to have some stability in the world, we must also see that that has come by Krishna's grace and not take it for granted. No, now we've got a job as a supervisor in the factory. I'm important. I've got 20 people, 40 people working under my command. Then we think, okay, I am a supervisor in the factory. But we're not. We've been given some opportunity, and that's our duty. And the duty that comes to us has responsibility. But we've got this opportunity, and so we must see Krishna's hand behind everything. And if we don't have the opportunity, then we see Krishna's hand behind that too, like Bhaktivinoda Thakur says. In good times, in bad times, you are the only Lord of my life. And as Rupa Goswami said, not to over-endeavor with things that don't come easily. This is about the mundane world. This is not about Krishna consciousness. Mundane things, some food, some shelter. But you're doing fine, Priya Sundari Devi Dasi. You're doing fine. And to feel that we're not doing it properly is also good, because we aren't. I mean, we aren't. It means we are trying to do everything properly, but we are trying. And this is appreciated by Gurudev and Guru Maharaj. We are trying. We know what is ideal. We may not be, we know we can't actually do the ideal so perfectly in this world, but we are trying, and we want that. And Krishna sees everything. And when Gopakumar came to Krishna, by the way, after millions and hundreds of millions of years, if you don't believe me, do the calculation for the time, I mean, hundreds of millions of our earthly years, when Gopakumar finally came to Krishna, then Krishna said, oh, I was with you during this time, that time, I saw everything. You suffered this way for me, that way for me. But here you are. How could you stay away so long? Now you're home. And the thing is, Gopakumar took hundreds of millions of years and so many births. Means so many births. How is he appointed? In different places, different parts. It's inconceivable, but it is a long journey from his beginning to his end. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come with the very shortcut. The very shortcut, that gift, that now take this opportunity, these tickets, these visas, whatever we want to say, the ticket and the visa and the passport and everything else, everything we need, it's being provided. But that faith, that's what's required from us, some sincerity, some faith. So keep on going, whatever we're doing. The devotees won't be a burden on others, and especially on other devotees, and in a family also. No family appreciates if somebody is a burden. Yes, they look after each other, but not expected that all their life, our son, he never worked, all he does is sit at home and play video games and expects us to feed him and clothe him. No, it's not natural. So the devotee family, Krishna's family, everyone's doing something. And if we look at Goloka Vrindavan, everyone's doing something. They're helping Krishna take the cows out. They're helping Krishna hold up Govardhan Hill. And Krishna can do everything, but he's happy when all his creation come to help him in his Leela. And his Leela is to enjoy. Hare Krishna. Keep on going, as Lilamoy Prabhu was saying in the earlier part. Keep on going and be positive. This is what we need to be. Enthusiasm, confidence, patience, listed by Rupa Goswami. And when we're enthusiastic, then we put on a brave face when there's a cold wind and it's -10 degrees and we don't have proper clothing. We put on a brave face. Okay, I'm still going to go on. One of my coldest days was something like that. Very cold. It was minus, and there was wind, and there was snow at 90 degrees. And really, I wasn't wearing the right clothing. And I mean, this is as a devotee, we are traveling somewhere. I wasn't expecting to be in such a circumstance, but very cold. Okay, in the meeting chat, Sevarupa Devidas has been very busy. Sriman Mahaprabhu, auspicious arrival in Varaha Nagar. And Instagram, is that the Instagram of Govinda Farm? Govinda Farm Ashram, okay? And Sevarupa, Shreya sitting, let me bring it here so I can see better. Shreya sitting bhaktim udasyate vibho klishyanti jay kevala bodha labdhaye isham asal kleshala eva shishyate nanyajata stula tushavaghātina. I really do need the translation for this. It is Sanskrit from Srimad Bhagavatam. My dear Lord, devotional service unto you is the only auspicious path. If one gives it up simply for speculative knowledge or the understanding that these living beings are spirit souls and the material world is false, he undergoes a great deal of trouble. He only gains troublesome and inauspicious activities. His actions are like beating a husk that is already devoid of rice. His labor becomes fruitless. From Google, the hippopotamus is the world's deadliest land animal. Oh, why did I mention about the hippopotamus? According to the BBC, they kill roughly 500 people every year, which is twice as many as lions kill, and also 20 times as many as cougars kill. Oh my goodness. Anyway, I'm not going to think about that one too much. Hare Krishna. But there aren't many hippopotamuses around where around where Villa Govinda Ashram is. So come to Villa Govinda Ashram and be safe from hippopotamuses. Hare Krishna. And Kishori, one good soul, there in the United States, she was or is a medic in the national park, a medic who was stationed in, was in one or two of the national parks in the USA. And she said that most of the, or many of the people who suddenly come in emergency are people who are trying to take selfies with bears and moose and things like that, and then they get attacked. So we must be sensible in this world, and we must be sensible, not to play with Maya for our entertainment. We want to come to Krishna consciousness and stay safe. There's an expression, the Lord helps those who help themselves. We need to stay safe, so don't go taking selfies with hippopotamuses. Practical life hack, as people say, a life hack. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. And by the way, when you see a hippopotamus, you also have to think, how did a hippopotamus get that body? Because the consciousness comes first and then the body. And hippopotamus and rhino's pretty crazy animal. I mean, sorry, Krishna, a rhino is a wonderful animal suitable for the mentality of the person. But we've had encounters with rhinos in the wild, and they're pretty, well, what can I say? We don't know what goes on in their mind, and all the animals, they're persecuted by humans. The elephant persecuted by humans. All man exploiting. Hare Krishna. Yes. Who would like to make a contribution? Ishwarananda Prabhu, would you like to share a few words? We're happy to see you, by the way, and welcome on to the back to basics. Would you like to share a few words with us? How has Krishna been protecting you?
Dhanavad Maharaj, Dhanavad devotees. I have been listening to Revealed Truth on the audiobook, and that has been a treasure. It's been like a whole chest of jewels just dumped on my head, and a little bit. Anyways, it's wonderful. But I have a question, and obviously we're at the end of the class. But my question is, obviously in the material world, we're really distracted by like instant gratification and like demonic qualities. They seem like really desirous. And so how can we remember that we are trying to be earnest towards the service of the Vaishnavas despite the tropical storm of Maya?
Well, Prabhu, I think that what you are doing, which is listening to Revealed Truth, listening to the books, one by one, and you can listen to the same book again and again, but one by one, we've got so much to listen to, so much to read, and to have some self-discipline to do this every day, and as far as possible to start our days in a proper way. Proper way means with some worship, some chant, some read, some meditation. That's japa. Japa is meditation. And try to start our day the way that we know is the the recommended way by our masters. I mean, we're students, we've got masters, and the masters have taught us various things. If we don't do those, then that's our fault. It's not the master's fault. Guru Maharaj and Gurudev, they've tried their best to give us a very good framework to lead our life. And what you're doing by reading, and as you say, a load of gems has fallen on your head. Perhaps that wasn't the exact quote that you made, but something very beautiful like that. And it is true. These books, page by page, paragraph by paragraph, there are wonderful things there, which are ever fresh and sparkling. And then just be conscious that we are living in the ocean of fault. But we must keep ourselves with our intelligence, which is fed by Srila Gurudev, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, the scriptures, by Mahaprabhu. Keep our intelligence properly nourished and use our intelligence to control our mind and our senses, because this is the reality. If we just be controlled by our senses, we'll be worse than animals, because animals have conditioned in their DNA. Animals only eat this particular food, this animal only mate at a certain time, only this, only that. It's all within their DNA. So if we only go by our senses, then we'll be worse than animals, because with no restriction. If we only go by our mind may give us good advice, may give us bad advice, but our intelligence can look over that, and our intelligence, let us nourish that from Guru and Gauranga. So we are in the world of fault, and we just have to make the right decisions as much as possible. And the more we make the right decisions and consistently make the right decisions, then we'll find ourselves in a beautiful place, quite separate from the ugliness of the world. And try to follow what Rupa Goswami is given. I mean, we should follow what Rupa Goswami is given in his Upadeshamritam. 6 senses to control, 6 things to avoid, 6 things to do, 6 ways of associating with the devotees, how to give honor to the devotees, and how to see only the devotional side of devotees. Hare Krishna, the essence of all advice. Hare Krishna, again coming to Bhakti Yoga, chanting the holy name of the Lord. At first, it feels unnatural because we've been conditioned for so many births, but we've got this human birth, we've got this connection. And Rupa Goswami promises that in the beginning, may be a little difficult to make our mind say, yes, I have to take the medicine. But we keep taking the medicine, and it is a great wonder that gradually our disease becomes cured and we come to taste nectar. It's all there in Rupa Goswami's 11 verses of Upadeshamrita. Hare Krishna. So keep on going, do your best. And this is what is needed of us. And association again. If we're in materialistic association, it is very influential for us. We are lagu, we are light. We know we're light. Google tells us the hippopotamus is the most dangerous animal. If next week it tells us that a giraffe is the most dangerous, we'll all believe it. So, Hare Krishna. Govinda, Govinda. And keep company with the devotees. The devotees, best people. Hare Krishna. What's been happening with Aparajita and the Bangkok program? Have you been in Bangkok preaching?
Dandavat Maharaj, Dandavat everyone. I saw Bimal Krishna Prabhu raise his hand before. Is it?
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
yes. You have something to say? I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. So nice to see and to hear everyone. And yes, this week we very excited because Keshavananda Prabhu is coming to Bangkok and he will have program with us this Saturday. I think he will arrive to Bangkok today, so I'm very happy and I have been make a promotional social media and some poster about this and try to invite people at the same bookshop that you've been. The owner, he also very welcoming. And this Saturday, we also will screen documentary of Srila Prabhupada again. Some people who missed the earlier ones, they request, so we do it again. And yeah, very happy.
so Keshavananda is coming to Bangkok, and where is he going after Bangkok? Do you know?
Govinda farm, I think.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
coming back and after Italy, but on April 10th.
Oh, so he's going to Bangkok and coming back.
Yes, just for the program, because Krishna P is going there also for business and everything, and he got a ride.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh.
there we are. I thought he's going to go to Bangkok and then he's coming to Italy, to Villa Govinda. So it's a trick question, but I got tricked by my own question. So he's going to Bangkok and coming back. But he's coming to Italy soon. I don't know the date, but now you got me little thinking, oh, he's on his way here. So we'll find out from him the date that he's coming to Italy. Hare Krishna. And by the way, well, is it a secret? Well, maybe I shouldn't say, but I can say it because it's happy news that in Ireland they've arranged a retreat for August, but there's a very limited number of places, so perhaps it's a secret. But it's not a secret. It means it's wonderful to know that they're getting these opportunities for retreats, and it's done through Sridandi Maharaj and Subhasini Devi Dasi, and it's in a place with the monks and some monks that Sridandi Maharaj knows. Before COVID, they did do these retreats in Ireland, and they're successfully now got some booking for this summer for some retreat there. And Keshavananda was going to, or he's invited to that retreat. I think he'll be going there too. That's why I was thinking of it, Keshavananda Prabhu. But if you want to participate, you better let Subhasini know first. I know it's very limited space. And before it wasn't so limited space, but it's the EU and they've got all these regulations. Before, Father Seamus was the priest, and basically as many people as you can fit in, yes, make yourself at home, and there was no fixed price, it was by donation, you could put tents, all these things. But now they've renovated the place, it's like a monastery, and they've made it more comfortable, which I mean, pilgrims don't need that really, but anyway, it's the modern world, and they made it more comfortable. And now they have to follow the EU rule for insurance and fire regulations. And I think it's 21 persons maximum, which is not many. And there's a fee, which was not before. EU, Europe, I mean, Europe expensive kind of thing, unfortunately. But fortunately, that opportunity is there. And actually in Europe, everything has a fee. We go to the dormitory and it's expensive. I still can't help but think how much is that in rupees? And shocking. The cost of just a bed in a dormitory is 50 euros. That's what the rate is in Europe. And just think, well, we've forgotten. Maybe it's just we've forgotten. Time has passed by, but 50 euros is like 5,000 rupees, basically, which is amazing just to have a bed in a dormitory. But that's how it goes. Hare Krishna. And regulations. All right. Oh, Jayadev Prabhu joined us. Jayadev Prabhu. Jayadev Prabhu. Maybe living in your motorhome, I don't know, but Prabhu, happy that you're keeping in touch and visiting us. This is the end of the back to basics, and America changed its time 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this Sunday, yes, but it won't affect people in America, but those in Europe, no one's here in Europe. They're all asleep. Okay, Europe clocks change on Sunday morning. So we get an extra hour. So instead of being 3 a.m., it's 4 a.m., which is kind of good. Oh yes, Shama Priya. Clocks change also in Ukraine. Hare Krishna. So Yash Krishna Prabhu also joined us. So we're just at the end of this back to basics. We do start 1 hour before now, and it's fixed on Navadip time. Navadip time doesn't change. Navadip, India, Srila Guru Maharaj, Srila Gurudev, they want us to remember the source of our good fortune, Navadip Dham, and in particular Chaitanya Saraswati Math. So Navadip time, we fixed the back to basics to that time, and I believe it's 9:30 in Navadip was the time selected. And India is half an hour, generally half an hour different than the rest of the world. And Nepal is 1/4 of an hour different, which makes life a little odd. Oh, 8:30. Oh, it's 7:30 in the morning. India time is what the back to basics is based on. That time. Okay, dear devotees. Oh, and Achyutananda Prabhu is just about to enter too. I wonder if you're thinking it's the beginning. Oh, we clicked enter, but he didn't arrive. Okay, dear devotees, it is, oh yes, Achyutananda Prabhu, we're just finishing our back to basics and just saying goodbye to the devotees. Oh dear, it starts an hour before. It's based on India time, Navadip time, 7:30 in the morning. But good to see you, even for a few moments. Jai Srila Gurudev Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj Srila Bhakti Rokhop Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Srila Prabhupada Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Bhaga Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Chaitanya Saraswati Acharya Vrinda Ki Jai. All the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bo. Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Jai Shri Bhakti Ranjan Madhusudan Maharaj Ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. And all best wishes to you all for the next few days. We'll meet you again in a few days' time, happily. Always remember Krishna, no matter what you're doing. And we can think of other examples about doing our duty responsibly, whether it's carrying a pot of water around a hill, as Krishna gave some challenge to one of his devotees, or whether it's our business, or whether it's cleaning the temple, whatever it is. Let us be responsible in our duties. Keep our fingers, don't put our finger into mire and think, wonder, just a drop I'll taste. Just sit back and think of alcoholics. Alcoholics, once having been an alcoholic and they say dry, is it that they say they're clean from alcohol? They won't even touch a drop of liquor, just in case, oh yes, I'll fall back into that habit again. So we're all alcoholics for the material world, but cured or being cured alcoholics. Hare Krishna. Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hare Hare Bo. Dandavat. Ami Aschi. All the devotees, yes. Sriyash Krishna Prabhu, good to see you. Hare Krishna.